Thanks for joining me. In this video we're going to challenge your balance. We're also going to look at movement for the spine. We're going to look at range of movement for the shoulders and a bit of hamstring release through some Pilates work. We will start on our feet, however the kit you need is a weight. Now I've got a 6 kilo kettlebell. It could be a bottle of water, the heaviest weight you feel comfortable with, maybe 3 kilos I think is what was available to you, Alex, but we only need 1. We're going to offset training, so different to what you did before. The other bits of kit you need: something to put between the knees. It can be a cushion, it can be a yoga block. This is just a bit more comfortable. Something to go under your head. It can be a hoodie. I've got a tea towel here, or a yoga block again. And something with a bit of give. So I've got a resistance band here. Don't want anything too strong. Let's get started. You're starting on your feet. You can start without a weight if you want. And then once you feel more confident, perhaps on round 2 of your 10 reps, you can increase this. So we're going to stand upright. We're going to fix our focus on something. We're just going to move, and then I'll explain a bit more about technique. So we're going to explore how far forward and back you can step the right leg. So imagine the left foot is nailed to the floor. And we're going to try this about 10 times. Don't mind whether the ball of the foot on that left foot moves or whether it stays still. You're starting to explore the range of movement. How far forward can you step? It's based on a move that drops into lunges, which of course won't be great for your knees. And I hope you're not trusting me with the counting, because instructor counting is never correct. Did I disguise that well? Let's do the other side, with or without your weight. This is round 1 of 3. We'll get moving, focus, and I'll talk a bit about technique. So the muscles that help us balance are engaging your TVA, your transverse abdominis, the deep core muscles. And a great way to do that is just try and make your muscles as solid as you can. How far forward are you stepping back and forward, by the way? Are you challenging? Yes, so making the tummy muscles as solid as you can, as if somebody was coming in to jab you in the tummy, is quite a good way of doing that, and we'll discuss that perhaps a little bit more in other Pilates videos as we go along. Now, do you need a breather? Do you need to call it just 1 set today, or can you do another set? I'm going to coach a bit more. So weight-wise, weight is in the opposite hand to foot, by the way, but don't worry too much about that. So first of all, let's get moving. I'm going to squeeze the muscles of the bottom, engage the TVA, and I'm going to imagine I've got a book on my head as I try and step further forward and back. It involves a bit of balance as we're pushing off the floor. The backwards push is tough, and as you requested during the session, or as you pointed out to me during the session, we're trying not to pop the foot down. We're going to try and step all the way back rather than stepping part way through. But of course you have that option of stepping part way through. We've done 10 yet. If you're not sure, always do 2 more. Cardio will be going up, and the weight will be offsetting your balance. Let's change sides. So now we're getting a focus of it. Engage your core, squeeze your bottom, and explore the range of movement. Chest is high, eye gaze can be fixed. And I want you to think about the squeeze of the bottom, because the muscles at the side of the hip, this glute med and min, they really will help you balance as well. So it's as if you're trying to make the pelvis pretty small. I always think of trying to fit into a child's slide or a child's swing, and trying to compact the muscles of the glutes towards each other. Have you been counting? Because I haven't. Should we do one more round? Let's go. Stepping forward and back as far as you can. Remember, if you're struggling, it's a little step in, a little step, a step in. And as you start to progress, if your joints allow, you might make it bigger, you might bend your knee, or you might just linger in the air for a bit longer. So there's lots of things going on. You might have to land your back heel down like I just did, but ideally the back heel is lifted. Back heel is lifted. We've covered a lot of coaching points, but hopefully you kept going with me. Back heel's down because I looked at you and lost my balance. Now showing off from me. I'm going to do one more. Then I'm going to change sides. Bracing the core just as upright. Clenching the bottom. Getting a lot more confident with this move. And it might be you have to ditch the weights because you're feeling too fatigued at this point. Brace the core, squeeze the bottom. That's all you'll be thinking about when you leave this session. Brace the core, squeeze bottom. Imagine there's perhaps a book on your head. Oh, the cardio is kicking in. And rolling through the feet, getting some nice footwork. Big toes are quite important, but we'll get onto that next time. 2 more, says me, with no idea how many I've done. Shall we move straight on? Now, if you're really out of breath, take a moment before you lie down on the floor. You might take some Pilates foot pedals. You might sit down, but keep moving if you do sit down. And take as long as you want to recover, and just check that the heart rate has come down. And you can measure that by your breathing. So you should be able to take a sip of water without feeling that you're having to take into account how hard you're breathing. You might take a couple of Pilates roll downs to check in with the back, to bring the heart rate down if that brought the heart rate up. In fact, should we go with these? Grab your band. Now the point of the band is just so you can pull it and get the shoulder blades to part, as if there's space in between the armpit and the arm. So it doesn't matter how many times you fold it over. Get some length in the back of the neck and brace the core. We want a gap between each vertebra as we pull on the band. And we're going to exhale, see how close to floor you can get. Inhale, come back up to upright. Exhale through the mouth, through an imaginary straw. Keep the chin tucked in as if you've got socks under the chin, or even grab some socks. Inhale through the nose to come back up. So you can exhale, feel the tummy muscles tighten, see where you can get to, no forcing it, socks under chin. Inhale and let the back of the ribs expand as you inhale. Stand tall after each one. Start with a slight retraction of the chin, slight nod of the head. We're trying to get the spine to move one vertebra at a time. I quite often see people trying to take a bow, moving from the hips only. So if I said to you, imagine you're rolling a ball, or with your forearms against your body, or you're keeping your armpits as close towards your body as you can, that might help you get into that rounded back. For me, I have to tuck my tailbone under, almost thrust the pelvis and tuck the groin under. So pull on the band, chin tucks under, go slowly, brace the core, exhale. We don't want to over tuck with the pelvis, especially if you've got a herniated disc where the opening is more in this direction. So there's lots to take into account with this move. We've got to listen to the body. Now, I'm going to go for 4 more, but how about going up and down the right leg? Take your time, part the shoulder blades, tuck chin, round the spine, and just see, go slow, check in with the back. Where's it going to let you get to? Inhale, come back up. Should we go down the left leg and then do that one more time on each side? Stand tall, reset. Breathing in, I'm running out of oxygen. Breathing to prepare, exhale, tuck the chin, brace the core, maybe tuck the pelvis. Imagine those socks are under the chin, see where you can get to. Inhale, coming up. The pace of movement is entirely up to your level of control. It can match your breath. You can take 2 breaths to go down, but we're not looking for joint pain, so that's where we go slowly. We keep the spine trying to move one vertebra at a time. We just release any tightness through that posterior chain. 1 more. Breathing out through that imaginary straw, checking, so put my teeth in, tucking your chin. Inhale through the nose, expand the back of the ribs. Oh, I'm hoping that felt good. Come take a lie down. I'm hoping all of this feels good. It was the lunges that was the toughie, the rest is flexibility. So we're going to start with some hip bridges. A Pilates ball is useful to help your glutes fire up a little bit more, as is a booty band. We'll use the ball today. If you didn't have a ball or anything to put between your knees, then you need to feel as if your heels are trying to drag the mat towards the opposite heel. There's or as if you're gripping a Pilates ball between the heels. So that pushing the heels towards each other. Now, how much will your knees bend? Have you got a band as well? Do you need a hoodie under your head? If you do, you need to make sure there's no stress on the back of the neck. So as long as you're not laid in this position for the beginning of your hip bridge, you're probably good to go. However, if you are laid in this position, then fold up your hoodie or your tea towel just enough to get a little bit of length in the back of the neck. So grab your Pilates ball, grip it pretty hard. Take your band, and the wider the arms are apart, the better. I'm going to exhale, take the arms overhead. Inhale, reset. Just get the arms moving. We'll just take 5 of these. Can you be in spinal imprints? Push the whole of the back into the floor. Exhale. Inhale. I feel like I'm trying to, strange request, trying to push my armpits quite wide towards the edge of the mat, just to create a little bit of space around the shoulders. And I've checked the back of the neck is comfortably long. And I'm imprinting the spine. Now, if you can, let's lift the hips and take the arms as far overhead as is comfortable for you. We're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time, take the arms overhead to where you can. We're going to use this as an assessment. If you know what you're doing, you can go ahead and do 10 more. I can make it to floor. Now roll down one vertebrae at a time, pushing through ribcage or bra strap area, then trying to land the lower back before the bottom and resetting. Now if that was really, really strong on the shoulders, you need to maybe lie with a whole cushion under your head, because you probably need something for your shoulders, or sorry, the back of the arm here, to be able to push into. You'll get more from the move if you can push the arms into something. So if your arms are nowhere near the floor, start to play around with a cushion or two under the arms, or even under the whole of the back of the head and the arms, so you can push gently into something. You'll just get a bit more from this. Once you've played around with this, 10 repetitions. So either push the heels towards each other without moving them, or grip the ball, and that's just so the bum's going to work, the glutes are going to work. Tilt the pelvis so you're going to spinal imprint, and the tailbone is pointing up, the pubic's pointing up. Exhale to lift, one vertebrae at a time, peels off the mat. Inhale to lower, one vertebrae at a time. Bring the arms back to overhead, or you can bring them all the way back to your thighs, which is more traditional. Exhale, hips lift, arms go overhead. Inhale to lower down, one vertebrae at a time, and only once you've landed, then you move the arms. If this gets strong, don't do a full 10. Exhale, tilt the pelvis, see how the spine's moving. And if the ball's too much for you to grip, ditch the ball. Normally the band will just give you a little bit more shoulder stability, so it's worth gripping. But of course, if you want to ditch the band and try it without, feel free. One vertebrae at a time. Now something else to check while we're doing our last 5 is that we need to make sure when the hips lift, they are going as high as they can, but that's not what we're checking. I'm going to check that there's not an overly exaggerated amount of stress on the back of the neck. That would mean you've got too much of a prop under the back of the neck. So you would need to reduce the range of movement, reduce the thickness of your prop. Roll on up, one vertebrae at a time. What is wrong with my coaching today? I did a fitness class today and I managed to forget to put the grips on the edge of the barbell and they fell off. That's the level of coaching you're going to get from this video, I'm afraid. Okay, let me get the breath right. Last couple. Breathe in to prepare. Exhale, tilt my pelvis up, lift one vertebra at a time. Exhale as the arms go overhead. Inhale to lower one vertebra at a time. You're getting a good workout on your inner thighs, because I am. One more. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to roll up one vertebra at a time. Arms go overhead. Inhale to lower. And have a little breathe out. Now if your shoulders have had enough, call it a day for the shoulders. If they're feeling okay, let's take something that's not quite as intense. And once again, if you need a cushion or a whole pillow under the arm because you struggle to get the arms to the floor in this wide position, then please set up appropriately. So back of the neck long. I'm going to reach the left arm out. There's a song there somewhere. The left knee up and the right hand grabs the thigh. So it's opposite hand to the outside of the thigh, not underneath, not on the knee, outside of the thigh, because that's going to get the reaction through here that I want. Now, this is about opening up the shoulder. So the arm is ideally in line with the shoulder, or even more in line with the forehead, or even higher up. That's the progression. Pin the armpit and the top of the arm into the floor or your cushion. Stretch out your right leg and lock that out at the knee. And then we're going to try and exhale and turn your hips on their side. There's 10 of these. Inhale to reset. The back of my neck's comfortably long. Really lengthen out the straight leg. Explore how far your hips can turn. And don't forget, no rib flare. The back isn't arched. So keep going if you know what you're doing. If you need to remind yourself, breathe in. And then when you breathe out, get the back of the ribs as close to the floor as you can. Feel like your ribs have slid down towards your hips. And once you've got that feeling, lock it in and go again with your rotation work. Almost like a little bit of a cat curl. So if you're struggling to get the back of the ribs to the floor in this position here, you're probably almost certainly better off with a cushion under the head, so the head's slightly elevated. And then you can really keep that roundness to the back. Because we don't want these lats to be firing up, we want those to release as well. Not getting much of a stretch, take the arm overhead. Inhale, and then you exhale, twist. Now I'm trying to round my back, as I said, forward flexion, a little bit of a cat curl, and I'm exploring how far on my side I can go until I get the stretch somewhere through here. Something else that might help you focus a bit more on the stretch through the front of the shoulder, pec area, is actively drawing the shoulder blades together. So in your last three, you can pause, draw the shoulder blade of this outstretched arm towards the spine, checking with the neck, breathe in to prepare, and then as you exhale, twist, inhale, reset. 2 more. Hope you haven't got a headache with all these coaching points. Inhale, reset. 1 more. Inhale, reset. Let's change sides. So lock out the knee of the straight leg. Pull the other leg up, overhand grip if you can, checking with the neck. Choose where this arm goes. Is it in line with shoulder? Overhead a little. Remind yourself that spinal imprint. Do you need something under your head on this side? Each side is different. And also, can you get the back of the shoulder and the back of the arm to floor? Or do you need to get something underneath it? Let's go when you're ready. Breathe in to prepare through the nose. Exhale through an imaginary straw as you twist. Oh, moving so much easier on this side. Inhale, reset. 10 reps, please. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, reset. We're moving at the pace of your natural breath, so that dictates the speed of your movement. You might feel some lovely contact, firm contact and pressure between this hand and this thigh. You get a bit more from the move that way. So you feel like the hand is stopping your knee returning, and then the knee is stopping your hand from pulling it over. And this just switches on a whole different group of muscles. 4 more. This is the bit where I'm just awful at. I feel like I can coach you okay. I feel I can give you some teaching points that are that would resonate, but counting, just don't trust me with any of it. One more, please. I think you might have been one short. If you happen to do this again, you'll soon know. And reset. Okay. Take the arms into a relaxed overhead position. An elbow bend will take the stress out of the shoulder, and as you progress you might get the arms straighter or closer together. So I'm aiming roughly 45 degrees, or somewhere, if you were a clock and that was midnight, about where the hour hand would be, about 1:30, and the other one's about 10:30. Breathe in to prepare, exhale, imprint your spine. One move to go after this. Exhale, relax. Breathe in to prepare, exhale, imprint your spine. Apologies, inhale to relax. 2 more practice runs. Breathe in to prepare, exhale, imprint the back of the ribs as firmly as is comfortable for you. Check in with the neck, inhale to relax. Exhale, hold your imprint, take your feet to the edge of the mat, ideally resting on your heels in dorsiflexion. That's when the dorsiflexion is when the ankles are in this position. Careful with the knees, turning your hips on their side. Exhale, twist, inhale, reset. Exhale, twist, inhale, reset. If the knees don't like this, you might need to take the feet a lot closer together, and you might be better with the Pilates ball in between the knees, that small round ball. However, if you're getting on with it, turn the hips on the side, don't kick into the heels too much. There's a bit of a squeeze on the thighs, but nothing too much. Back of the neck is long, inhale, knees to ceiling, exhale, twist. And if you're not getting much of a stretch through the side of the body, especially the top of the shoulders, take the arms a little higher up. And if you're still not getting it, you might need the band, because we're trying to release the shoulders. So I'm pulling on the band, exhale, twist, and there we go. All of a sudden I'm getting the stretch I want to have across the armpit, into the side of the ribs. Let's go for 6 more. Exhale, twist, inhale, reset. Remember, feet closer together if the knee doesn't like it. Turn your hips on the side. And the trick is you're rounding your back, you're cat curling, you're imprinting the ribs. You're keeping the ribs tucked in. You're pushing the ribs down, the front rib cage down to your hips. You're using your tummy muscles to tighten as you breathe out. Use your breath to tighten your tummy muscles. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reset. 1 more. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reset. Bend your elbows to come out of this, and then carefully bring the elbows in. Your shoulders will thank you for coming out of that kindly. So we need to just finish off with a hamstring drill. I said 1 more move, but I'm going to demo 2 just in case you're feeling super enthusiastic. So we're going to get the foot and the band in this kind of a position. We're going to try a single leg circle. If you can, get the other leg out of the way and energize this leg. This top leg is as straight as it'll go, but don't worry if you can't get it fully straight. Now, we need to engage the TVA and clench the bottom for this one as we draw a circle. And this can be very, very strong. So sometimes you need to do it without the band with a knee circle to start with, just to get the principles of it. So maybe you want to bend the knee and draw the circle there. Now, here's how you stabilize. So you imprint both sides of your bottom or back, or whichever part somewhere around here is on the floor. Just notice the pressure between the lowest 2 sides of your body and the floor, or the back, and try and keep the pressure in exactly the same spot. Try not to let it roll around. So when you pull the leg towards you and you get the stretch in the hamstring, it won't go into the back. We are trying to get the bottom on the floor a lot more than the back. So if you know neutral spine, we are doing this in neutral spine. Same leg, change direction. Take your time. Exhale as the leg goes out. Inhale as the leg comes in. So can you engage the core? As I've said, TVA solid. So if I was to come and stand on your tummy, your internal organs would be nicely protected, make it solid. Hopefully you can breathe there, but then try not to let your hips wiggle around. So we get the stability work as well, which actually helps with balance. Balance not very comfortable. 2 more. So do you feel when the leg goes out towards the edge of the body, how the opposite hip wants to come off the floor? Pin it to the floor as hard as you can. Take a moment, change size, have a rest if you need to, pause the video if you need to, and then hook on up with the other foot. So pin the hips to floor, lock out the other leg, get ready for me to come and stand on your tummy. We've got 8 circles one way and 8 the other, but go slow, work at the pace of your breath, slow enough to be under control. So as you get more confident with the leg going out to the side, do you feel like this hip wants to come off the floor? You've got to pin it to the floor really firmly. So now we start to find the muscles that control balance. Are you happy with your grip? Do you need your arms straight? Do you need to take a different kind of a grip? Are you managing to get a stretch in the back of the leg? Are you remembering to breathe? Have you got the back of your neck long? These will all be natural eventually, I promise, and the headache will stop. Can you change direction? I think we might have done 9. So I'm going to exhale as the leg goes out to the side, inhale, reset. Now, I should have said this at the beginning of this exercise, but if your hip's not great, it's not going to want your leg to go too far out to the side. So you'd perhaps go an inch or 2 just past the edge of the mat. You've got to kind of go by comfort levels. You'll get a lot of support from the band, and as you get better and more confident at engaging your TVA, as in getting the tummy muscles solid, as if I was going to stand on you, and clenching the bottom, then the stability will improve and the hip won't mind it so much. And hopefully if you've got any clunking in your hips, that will reduce as well. Push that opposite hip into the floor as hard as you can. Last one. I've given that many coaching points, I can't remember if we've changed direction. I'm hoping we have. If you haven't changed direction, you best pause the video and do your 8 circles the other way around. And then if you want your bonus exercise, here it is. If you haven't lost the will. So I'm going to just stretch through here. So I've got left leg lifted, left arm is out as a counterbalance. Draw the shoulder blade towards the spine, pin the back of the shoulder to floor and check the back of the neck is long. And your other leg is straight. Doesn't matter where this leg is, it could be here, it doesn't matter if the knee's bent. The straighter the leg, the better though. You're going to try and turn your hips on your side with the sole of the foot pointing to floor. This is very strong, going to feel a stretch all the way through the side of the body and reset. 8 if you can bear it, please. Exhale, twist. Move under control, challenge your balance, inhale, reset. Don't let the back of the neck lose its position, and don't let the shoulder lose the floor contact. Make this as pleasant as you can. You want to be aware of a stretching or tightening sensation. Somewhere down the side of the leg, might even be going this far, but don't go into pain. This is not one for trying to snap anything. Pilates is not about that. It is about listening to your body. It's not about the burn. It's not about the overstretch. It's about centering, control, alignment, breath work. One more, healing. What do you reckon? Should we do the other side? That was my toughest side. I'm a lot tighter on this side. This hip is a little lower down and a little further back, so there's a bit more stress on my nervous system. Okay, let's do the other side. Opposite hand to foot, spare arm out to side, back of the neck long, core brace, leg as straight as is comfortable, and turn the sole of the foot across in the direction you're going. Now it's not about moving the leg, it's about lifting the bum cheek off the floor. Inhale to reset. This is a great one to practice slowing your natural breath down. 4 to go. Ooh. Can you hear next door's dog on the video? We miss our dog. So many things I could coach and suggest, but I want you to just enjoy the sensations here. Move under control, look for a stretch. Not sure whether we've got 1 or 2 left, so 2 more. Last one. Inhale, reset. So you might even choose to take a moment here before you get up, but please, before you go, you've had your leg in the air, the blood pressure is the wrong way around, the blood pressure is the wrong way around, but the balance in the body is the wrong way around, and it's going to affect your blood pressure. So when you want to get up, please take your time. So you might spend a little bit of time moving here with the feet on the floor. You might want to spend a little bit of time just reaching side to side, just to start to let the blood pressure acclimatise. This will get your back mobile. Or you might want to spend a little bit of time sitting, or a bit of time on hands and knees before you get up. Depends how you put together what pattern of movement on the way up suits you. Not everybody's neck will like this one. So you might just have a moment getting up to seating any way you want. So I know for some of you you'd have to roll on your side. That might be where you stay for a while. And then come on up and just check in. Maybe some breath work. Maybe if you can kneel comfortably, some cat to cow. And then only make your way to standing when you feel ready.